We are going to talk about word problems and focus on the substitution method. So this will be systems of linear equations that are coming from word problems, and we're going to use substitution to solve them. Here's some keywords that I would write at the top of your page. So sum is always going to mean addition. Difference is going to mean subtraction. Twice is 2 times. And half is 1/2 times. Perimeter means add all of the sides. Add all of sides. Is means equals, and a right angle means, this is talking about angles, and it adds to 90 degrees. The sum of two numbers is 67. The smaller number is 3 less than the larger number. What are the two numbers? So we want to define our variables. And we could say x equals the small number and y equals the larger number. And we know that the sum of two numbers, so I'm going to put a little plus there to remind myself. So that means x plus y is going to equal 67 because is means equals. The smaller number, so that's x, is 3 less than the larger number. When you say, so that means x equals, because that was our is, 3 less than the larger number, that means it's going to be y minus 3. That's sometimes students want to put 3 minus y, but if you think of 3 less than, it's going to be the minus 3 goes second. And now you can see that we already have a variable solved by itself. We have this x equals, and it's equal to this x minus 3, and we can replace the x in the first equation with y minus 3. So if we have the length of the rectangle is twice the width, and the perimeter of the rectangle is 30 centimeters, what is the length and the width of the rectangle? The first thing we're going to do is define our variables. And instead of using x and y, I'm going to use w and l for length and width. So w would equal width, and l would equal length. And then I'm going to reread the problem and use that to write our equation. So we have the length of the rectangle is, remember, is means equal, twice means 2 times the width. So you can see we have kind of an equation right there. And now let's take a look at the second part of the sentence. Now we have perimeter of the rectangle is, that's another equals 30. What is the length and width of the rectangle? So they just give us what the perimeter is. Well, we know that the perimeter is when you add up all the sides. So let's draw a sketch of this. So if we're adding up all the sides, we are going to add length plus width plus length plus width. You can condense that to be 2 times the width plus 2 times the width equal to 30. And this is where we're going to use our substitution. So we know that the length is twice the width, so I can go here and substitute that in for the length. So 2w plus 2 times 2W, because 2W is the same thing as the width, equals 30. Now we can do some simplification. 2W plus 4W equals 30, and that 6W equals 30, because we combine like terms here. We have 6 times W, that is 6 times W, divide by 6, and we end up with W equals 5, and we are talking about, do we have units here? We don't, so I'm just going to write units since it doesn't say centimeters or inches or something. And we can go back over to our length being twice the width, and we know the width is 5. So 2 times 5 is 10, and we're going to use units again. And those are our two answers. For this problem, we have David earns $1.50 per hour more than Peter. Together they earn $940 if they both work 40 hours in a week. How much money per hour do David and Peter earn? So remember, the first thing we're going to do is define our variables. And so I'm going to say David's salary and Peter's salary. So the variables I'm going to use are D and P. D is going to equal David's hourly wage, and P is going to be Peter's hourly wage. And let's reread the problem and put some variables together with that. So David earns $1.50 more than Peter. So that is going to be D equals 150 plus Peter. And if they earn together $940, that is the hourly wage times the number of hours they work. So it is going to be 40 times D and 40 times P added together, and that should be 940. So we know that D equals $1.50 plus P, and we're going to plug that in for D into this equation. Let's do that substitution. So that's going to be 40 times 1.5 or 1.50 plus P. And I'm going to use parentheses because D is being multiplied by 40. So this whole amount right here has to be multiplied by 40. So I need parentheses, plus 40P equals 940. And I'm going to do some distribution, which is 60 plus 40P plus 40P equals 940. So I'm going to combine like terms, and that's 80P altogether. And I still have the 60, and it's equal to 940. Now I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides. And I'm left with 80P is equal to 880. Now I have 80 times P, so I'm going to divide by 80. And I'm left with P is equal to 11. So that's $11 per hour. So Peter earns $11 per hour. And I know that David earns $1.50 more. So that's 1.50 plus 11. So that is $12.50 per hour is David's wage.